Doom. So Doom is kinda cursed to me because I tried to make a Doom video about a year ago and lost all the footage for it during an accidental drive wipe. Anyway, I had a goal. A simple goal. Beat all the Dooms. I wanted to know what the world's first FPS and its follow-up siblings were like, and how they match up to their modern counterparts. Plus, I picked up an All the Dooms bundle for like 15 bucks. Gonna be honest, I was flat out lied to when I looked up what Doom came first. I was told not only was this unquestionably wrong, it may have also spoiled some of the growing experience I was expecting from going through Super Doom Time Loop. I hate Doom 64. I also love it. Let me explain. It does what it's supposed to. It's a game from its time that works. End of sentence. It feels like a game the year it came out. The controls are floaty, the guns are unsubstantial, the levels are awfully routed, forcing a constant gameplay loop of backtracking to push buttons and then backtracking again. I easily spent a good 1/3 of my play session just backtracking or trying to find a tiny button or doorway the map makes no attempt to help you locate. Over and over again, I found myself lost in samey hallways, begging for chat to tell me where the fuck I was supposed to go, and let me assure you, this does not slow down much in later games. Backtracking is a thing that persists throughout all the Dooms but the last one. I am no idiot, and my game sense is built upon a decade and a half of being way too sweaty at things that don't matter. COD Zombies' fancy footwork, learning to properly launch innocent civilians in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, whatever the fuck this is. I love games. However, having to spend hours of my life walking back and forth in the same damn hallways I already cleared to end up finding I had to push a button down this hallway that opened up a secret wall 5 equivalent levels over, silently, and then rushing over there to get instant killed, and then having to re-find the button because it was so insensible you couldn't possibly remember where you found it the first time, and you forgot to save. It's not fun. It's annoying at best and torturous at worst. I whined like a dog playing this game at times. I just wanted some levels to be over. That being said, the combat in this game can be liberating. The enemies are hard but fair. Stairs are the worst thing ever and make some enemies borderline impossible to kill. But other than that, if you go into a room, you pretty much know what you're getting yourself into. Other than the occasional running out of ammo, your guns and your moves can get you out of damn near any situation. Unless you're dealing with skulls, cause fuck them boys. The music is awful. Here, take a listen. It got so bad I turned off in-game music and started listening to the Tropico 6 soundtrack. Now that shit bangs. The infighting in this game is great. If you stack a few enemies on top of one another, they start shooting each other and then you get someone on your side. Or I guess more of like a moral gray third-party middle ground. I don't really know what to call it, it's sick. They will fight each other to the death. And if you're smart and fast, you could run through certain rooms in certain ways to have literally all of the enemies kill themselves without a bullet being shot. I never truly mastered this, but at the end, I really got the hang of it. It made me think about enemies in gaming a bit different, which is nice. If I died 100 times in this game, 90 of them were me shooting a wall and game ending myself effortlessly. This game is way too claustrophobic to use the rocket launcher, especially with how much they expect you to move with the higher difficulties. The enemies dance at times and I kinda love it. Look at these gentlemen! Cutting a rug! The final boss is laughably hard and gave me a great sense of achievement when I finally got him. This game made me rethink about difficulty in general. I like when my mind changes, and I think others should too, but to each their own and on to the original Doom. From the second I started it up and I heard E1M1, I knew where I was. I felt it. I was in a museum. I was teleported back to the unveiling of Disneyland, or watching the Apollo mission finally go up without becoming a billion-dollar warm greeting. This is where so many of the gamers who made the games I play every day of my life started. It was an honor. After that wore off, it was more of the same. I still couldn't fucking look up, the enemies were okay, the flashing of the lights gave my brain heartburn, and I still couldn't use stairs without vomiting out my ass. It was hell. Literally. The whole point of the game is that you're this dude in hell, and demons and blah blah, I shoot thing with gun, they go dead. You know why I'm here, I know why you're here, you wanna know what I think, so basically, it's alright. I see why this was so revolutionary at the time. It really is amazing to see what was capable in 1993. It has a start and a finish, there is still backtracking, and the gameplay is still solid, there's not much more to say. I grew up in a generation of Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and this feels like an opportunity to drive a Model T. It works, it's great. It was there in the beginning, and it'll be there long after the rest are gone. If you have the game and you haven't played it, do so. It's a timepiece and it deserves its place in the history books. Also, the soundtrack slaps. It fits the game and it feels like it belongs. It's synthy and fun, yet mystical and falls right into the background, unlike the terrible tracks and Doom 2 was, for lack of a better word, underwhelming. It was very short. It took me about 40 minutes from beginning to end. It was for sure the easiest Doom as well. I played everything up to Doom 2016 on the hardest difficulty, and let me assure you, this game was still a breeze. Especially compared to Doom 64, which took me 12 hours to complete. It was more the same, they added a few new enemies, which was nice, and they added the super shotgun, so points for that. It was still Doom in its blood, still couldn't look up. I'll try this Doom again someday to see if maybe I missed something. A Doom I definitely can't see myself going back to is... Jesus Christ, this game. I knew from when I first started the game and accidentally hit the right click button, which made my character jump, I was fucked. Chat, I need to have your attention real quick. I need to show you something. If you're making a video game, don't make right-click jump. What the fuck do you mean? Who approved that? Oh, and the control key is the shoot button. This game is simply put, confused. It wants to do justice to the Doom IP, yet it tried to be an early 2000s story shooter with characters and voice acting. The whole shebang. What you end up with is a fucking mess. Dear Lord, this game was bad. Like, legit one of the worst games I've ever played. I will now go through a bunch of things I hate about the game in no particular order. You have to switch to your grenade like a weapon to use it. Ammo is far too plentiful, and I never felt a reason to switch guns or try dynamic combos as I did for the other games. There is no infighting. Like, you can make the monsters hit each other, but it just doesn't happen, and basically wasn't even in the game. Reading. So much reading. Like, what the fuck? I want to play a game, not read emails and listen to audio files for fucking codes to open the door to the next level. Oh, and not to mention, if you wanted to speed through an area, which was super rare because this game moves at a snail's pace, you cannot look at emails while moving, but the game is still running in the background when you open the email menu. So you can get killed while looking at emails? Why is this so bad? They gave you a stamina bar in a Doom game. The flashlight also has like its own separate stamina bar on its own cooldown, and after like the cooldown starts, it replenishes in like 1 second. So what's the point of it even being there in the first place? Every time you are hit, you are thrown back with the power of 1,000 suns. The shotgun is awful. It makes no sense and feels more like you're sneezing on someone than shooting them. Nothing feels like it's getting hit in this game. You have to reload in a Doom game. The fall damage is like knee height. The game does not allow cool dynamic movement and pathing because the hallways are all the same, tight and narrow and garbage, and they usually full of debris that are in your way. Lots of enemies hiding around corners and behind doors waiting to jump your dick, which makes you take unavoidable damage. Fun. All the enemies are exactly the same and feel awful to fight. Racism.
Listen, I'd love to talk, but I'm really busy.
This game is ugly. Like, really fucking ugly. This is the Cacodemon. Yeah, this guy? You know this guy? That's what he looks like now. Be careful who you called ugly in fucking middle school. Jesus. This is the Flaming Skull. Like, excuse me? Who said this was okay? Like, someone in the company made a legitimate Doom shitpost and it somehow got into the full release. All the guns in general feel mush and do nothing to anything. After you get your pistol, use it once in the very beginning and then never again. I like pistols, sue me. Backtracking. Constantly getting stuck on geometry. Dying instantly to clipping and weird interactions. Half the time, NPCs just straight up talk over each other.
Concerned over the shipping procedures out here. I am the manifest controller, and as such, I need to be informed.
This game came out a few months before Half-Life 2. Did they even try? Also, because I hated the game so much and my friend Funtz is a masochist, he decided he wanted to play.
What an ungodly amount of screen shaking.
Only to discover I was actually playing the improved, reworked version of the game. This was the good version? Here are the things I would have had to suffer through if I played the original. No checkpoint save system. Worse graphics and sound, somehow. The game is darker. The flashlight is a separate weapon and you cannot have it attached to your weapon. Fewer levels. More levels. No controller support. The only thing good about Doom 3 is this really cool arcade game in the beginning, and the fact that the game ends. Speaking of the end, that's the end of the bad games, because we're moving on to... wow, was this game a breath of fresh air. The movement, the open space, the guns, the enemies, fuck, this game is good. It's hard but not insufferable, and it rewards you for aim, which the previous games ironically had almost nothing to do with. The enemies actually try, the graphics are fun and consistent. There is a story, kinda, I guess. It's more of a surrogate to allow you to murder more, and I will take any excuse I can to do that in this game, because it's fun. There still persists that issue of backtracking, but much lighter. It's linear in a fun and engaging way. Here's a little side note, the way the music cuts out every time you melee is fucking sick. The arenas are so solid, and the addition of actually useful power-ups that feel balanced and broken at the same time are some of my favorite things in all of gaming. This game goes on sale more than the orange box in 2012. Buy it, play it, love it forever. Speaking of forever, let's move on to... Holy shit, this game is so fun, it's ridiculous. This is peak gaming. I mean, absolute top of the heap first-person perfection. My whole life I've been waiting for something like this that reaches the right level of try-hard sweat and casual arcade fun. All in one neat little package that starts with me wanting more and ends with me wanting the next one. Doom Eternal reaches places other games wouldn't dare. The movement, the abilities, the weapons, and their subsequent customization options, the quick swapping, the enemy varieties, the hub world, the power-ups. This game has sick mini-bosses. Like legit, there are so many ways to kill in this game. I didn't want to stop playing. Even though I'd been playing almost nothing but Doom for a month straight, I felt like I couldn't get enough. Doom Eternal deviates greatly from the narrow, claustrophobic halls of Doom 1, 3, and 64. Great naming convention there, boys. Every area is filled to the brim with ways to make every fight feel dynamic and fluid. And in between fights, there are these out-of-this-world parkour sections that I thought would be annoying, but ended up being some of the most memorable and enjoyable parts of the game. I felt like a king flying around the arena, swinging from poles and mantling every ledge I could see. You cannot stand still in this game, but it's not a bug, it's a feature. It makes sure that you are always using every ability you have or you're dead. Forget to use your dash? Dead. Didn't get the armor from using Flame Belch? Dead. I love it. It's unforgiving and really works out your hands. If you don't have Stage 2 Carpal Tunnel by the end of this, you're playing it wrong, I assure you. At one point, they even let you play as the enemy and get in their head, and then kill them. Sometimes when you finish off a kill, it clips you through the walls. The final boss is okay, and the melee is nearly useless without Blood Punch or enemies being staggered, which sucks when you just want them to die. But it can be forgiven. A single leaf out of place on the world's most manicured bonsai is perfectly acceptable in my book. And yeah, I just compared this to a fancy tree. Buy this game at full price and play it until your hands fall off. By the end of this game, I felt like a god, but I also felt like I was just getting started. Play it, you won't regret it. That being said, that's the end of the actual game review. This is more of a personal note. Jesus, this game completely fucked my computer. I mean, really top to bottom ruined everything. And I don't mean during playtime, it was all external stuff. It ran on my stream at 2 FPS, and if I didn't use the settings that took me 2 days to find, it would make my entire computer crash. It kept messing with my graphics drivers and making weird buzzing noises on my PC. It non-stop wanted to start up in a random resolution and made all my preset monitor configurations go haywire. I mean, this game really had it out for me. It wanted me to die along with all the demons in it. But even though all that was a nightmare, I nearly had to wipe my computer again to play it. It was still so fun, and I couldn't care about any of that. Doom Eternal is an amazing game, and the perfect way to continue an amazing series. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. The minigun go fucking burr, dude. Listen to this. Listen, ready? A walking war dog, dude. The amount of dopamine that sound gives me is unquantifiable.